What is up, Pokemon Go family? It is your boy, TheGoulGuy, back at you guys yet again with another video. And today we are looking at a whole nother team for Season 22 of the Go Battle League. And we are going to be using today Furret. Furret is such a funny Pokemon. Literally, it's just the cutest thing in the world. It has Sucker Punch, which is amazing. Coverage against all the ghost types. That's essentially super meta in this new season, which is very nice. And we're going to be coupling that with Emolga. Emolga, flying an electric type Pokemon, to cover our flying, our flying, well, geez, I'm stumbling on my words again. But anyway, to cover the fighting types, that would be super effective against the obviously the Furret being a normal type. It takes super effective damage from fighting moves, so essentially we're going to be using Emolga paired with that as well. And as well, we have Claydol in the back, essentially taking out any electric type Pokemon that essentially will be super effective against the Emolga. So I kind of like have it trickle down here for the most part, but also too, Claydol, another Pokemon I just wanted to try out in this new meta with the new Rock Tomb, and Emolga essentially has the, well, it's faster to get to Acrobatics, which is a very strong flying type move, but yeah, that is the reason why I wanted to try this. It's a little bit of spice for the most part, just because Furret and Emolga are not really, you know, top dogs within the meta, but also just really fun Pokemon to be using in this meta, and that is what we're going to be using. But without further ado, let's get into the teams. So this is my Furret here. It is a rank 1 Furret. Can you believe it? It is literally a rank 1 Furret. If I actually go into PvPoke here, but yes, if you look into PvPoke, literally it is a rank 1 Furret that I have right here. It's a 1 attack, 15 defense, and 14 HP, which is insane. Which is like great. It's amazing. But yes, we have a rank 1 Furret that we're going to be using in the Great League, Open Great League right here for the new season, with Sucker Punch, Swift, and as well as Trailblaze. This thing is actually pretty bulky too, which is kind of insane. But we're mainly using it for, of course, our ghost coverage. And as well, you know, with Trailblaze, it's also good against water types, which is awesome, and neutral with the Swifts. And then as well, we're gonna have our Emolga, the Emolga here. Let's get our Emolga here. This is a lucky, pretty high IV Emolga. Not the best PvP IVs. I will be building another one with better PvP IVs, but it is okay for what we're doing right now. Well, we got Thundershock, Acrobatics, and as well Discharge. Now, as I said, with the Thundershock, we're going to be able to get to the Discharge and as well as the Acrobatics really fast. The basically Acrobatics takes less to actually get to Acrobatics, which is very nice. Coverage against the grass types, and as well, since it is electric, it's also good against water types. So essentially we got a grass and as well as we got electric for those water types, which is very nice. There's a lot of water types also in the meta. And last but not least, we also have our Claydol. Our Claydol here, another one that doesn't really have the best PvP IVs. I literally just caught not a Claydol, the pre-evolve form that actually had way better PvP IVs, which is very nice. I will be building that eventually, but until then, this also works out for us. We got Mud Slap, Rock Tomb, and as well as Scorching Sands. Rock Tomb is the new move. We already know from the Credilli, it debuffs Pokemon, which is very nice, and also very strong rock type move. It's definitely going to be able to destroy any electric type we see out there. Scorching Sands, of course, a very strong move as well, but that is pretty much the team. Those are the IVs. Let's get into the battles. But anyway, getting into the battles, we're at rank 12 with this one. I'm like literally a day behind. I've already recorded today's battles that I'm gonna be basically making a video for tomorrow. So essentially my rank is a little higher right now. but basically we're just starting out here. But anyway, we got Furret versus the Azumarill. Now, what I should be doing right now, I should be switching into the Emolga, but I just wanted to show off Furret here. I don't know why. I was so like, I'm just like, I'm using Furret, you know. But anyway, we get to the Trailblaze here. Trailblaze gonna do decent amount of damage, almost a half. It boosts my Sucker Punches, which is really nice. Even though Sucker Punch is, you know, of course, not gonna be doing that much damage against, you know, the Fairy type Azumarill here. We do get off a Swift. We do end up getting a Shield, which is very nice. They're going to be using their charge move here. We're just basically just going to use another shield back. Might as well. See if we can get to another Trailblaze. But they end up switching into the Marowak, which we are going to be using our Trailblaze onto the Marowak here. Most likely getting another shield. Let's see what happens here. Do we get another shield? And they do not shield, which is amazing for me, getting a whole bunch of damage off onto the Marowak. We switch into the Claydol just because I know between Bone Club and as well as Rock Slide, typically that's not going to do that much damage onto the Claydol, which is going to be very nice. We get some very good farm there. Let's see what they end up switching into. They end up switching back into the Azumarill. We're just going to basically use Rock Tomb here. Going to debuff the Azumarill. So see if we can actually farm it the rest of the way down with some Mud Slaps here. And, ooh, almost was able to actually farm it down. I should just let it go, but I end up literally shielding a Hydro Pump. I should have just let it go, but that's fine. Because they have a freaking Clodsire in the back, we are going to be able to get to the Scorching Sands. I believe that will get rid of their last shield, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have one more shield. They definitely do. We end up switching back into the Furret, because this is a video about Furret, okay? This is a video about Furret. We are Furreting here, okay? But they do end up getting to their charge move, which I believe does take us out, which is unfortunate, because we definitely wanted to take it out with the Furret, which probably wouldn't have happened anyway. We switch back into the Claydol. I don't believe we're going to be able to get to the Scorching Sands before they get to another charge move. This could be an Earthquake. If it is an Earthquake, I'm done. But they end up using a Sludge Bomb, which is literally not effective. We're still in the early games here, so of course people are still basically using the wrong moves on Pokemon here. But anyway, we get to the Scorching Sands. We end up knocking out the Clodsire, and it is GG's. Even if the Clodsire were to use Earthquake, essentially we did have the Emolga in the back. Emolga is a flying type Pokemon, of course, going to be non-effective against the Earthquake. Of course, now it doesn't take that much damage, so I mean it takes a lot more damage. It is very squishy, so essentially the Sludge Bomb would have done a decent amount of damage, but we definitely would have got to the Acrobatics before that would have happened anyway. We get to the next match here. We have a fighter in the front with Poliwrath, so we're going to have to switch out into the Emolga. Look how fast I get to that discharge, which is amazing. This game, I believe, is where Emolga shines. Essentially, as I said, basically super fast, getting it to its charge moves here. It's going to get to the Icy Wind on the Poliwrath, so definitely going to have to shield this. Emolga doesn't have that many weaknesses. Oh, I don't shield this, actually. I don't end up shielding this one. Let's see if I can get to the Acrobatics before they end up taking us out here. I believe I basically end up saving my shields for my backline here. Acrobatics doing a whole bunch of damage. I definitely could have saved the Emolga, but for whatever reason, I wanted to just go out in a blaze with the Acrobatics, which is fine. We switch back into the Furret. They cannot use a Shadow Ball on me since I am normal type, and we are going to be able to get a farm down, but unfortunately they do end up getting to another charge move. And this is where I say Furret's pretty bulky. They're going to be using Bone Club. Now, I know Bone Club isn't stab, but they end up using Bone Club there. Now, this is where, yeah, this is basically where I probably should have kept Emolga healthy, because they end up switching into a Whimsicott. Now, I probably could have just spammed Swifts, which I probably should have, but I wanted to boost it first. And they end up using a shield anyway, which is very nice. We do end up getting to the Swift, which is nice. I mean, we had a whole bunch of energy, had basically 100 energy, so that is very nice. We get to the Swift doing a good amount of damage. We end up switching into the Claydol. Now, I know what you're saying. I want to keep the I wanted to keep I wanted to keep the Furret alive. I don't know why. I was stumbling on my words there. I wanted to keep the Furret alive, and yeah, looks like they end up switching into the Poliwrath. We were going to Mud Slap it down and get to the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb would have been super effective against the Whimsicott, and we would have won that game. So they just ended up leaving there. But yeah, I don't believe a Seed Bomb would have instantly KO'd the Claydol anyway. Definitely would have been able to at least do some damage there, but yeah, GG's to my opponent. We are going on to the next game, and we have our Furret versus Grumpig. Grumpig basically being one of the top Pokemon everybody's basically using right now. Grumpig. I do have a video of Grumpig coming up here shortly. Stay tuned for that one. Grumpig is an amazing Pokemon for sure. They switch into their Cradilly. We're basically just going to use a Trailblaze here. They end up debuffing me, which is fine. Basically, we're just going to rebuff ourselves, essentially with the Trailblaze, and we're just going to switch into the Emolga. Now, the Emolga, of course, I know Emolga is going to take super effective damage onto this Rock Tomb, so we're definitely going to have to invest in a shield here. Now, let's see if they end up shielding our Acrobatics. Oh, I don't know what I think. Oh, okay, this is what I did. I ended up baiting here, thinking that they were going to shield the Acrobatics, and I did not pop any bottles, but they called the bait. They called the bait, right? But I still get to the Acrobatics, so I'm about to throw the Acrobatics, and I'm thinking they're going to shield this one. They don't. They don't end up shielding it for whatever reason. I'm not sure. I don't know if they just didn't know what I had or if it was going to be super effective against it. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but that exactly was weird to me. As I said, we're still in early game, so, you know, none of these battles really, you know, are super crazy yet. So basically, I get off a discharge on Morpeko and then switch into Claydol, doing a little bit more damage. They switch into the Grumpig. We get off a Rock Tomb. Let's see if how much the Rock... Okay, they block the Rock Tomb, so we do get a shield off with the Rock Tomb, but we do end up lowering their attack, which is very nice. We're definitely going to have to shield this. Even with the attack drop, Shadow Ball is definitely going to do a good amount of damage. And we still have that Morpeko in the back. Basically, I just want to hold off time until basically I'm able to switch, because we definitely want this Claydol on Morpeko. Definitely want the Claydol on Morpeko. It's double debuffed on the Grumpig here, and they are going to be able to get to the Shadow Ball. Let's see how much damage it does. Okay, I do end up surviving, which is very nice. But we don't have any more shields. Let's see if the Claydol's going to be able to take this Aura Wheel, and it does. It does end up taking the Aura Wheel, which is very nice. And looks like, oh, I was almost able to farm down to Morpeko. I think they just got to Psychic Fangs here. Let's see if what it is. Yeah, it is the Psychic Fangs taking out the Claydol. And then basically, yeah, we're going to have to switch back into the Emolga. Emolga basically going to do a lot more damage with the electric moves than we are going to be doing with the Sucker Punch on the Furret. Unfortunately, this Morpeko is going to town on my team right now, but the Furret is going to be able to Sucker Punch the rest of the way down on the Morpeko, and then what they have left in the back, basically, yeah, Grumpig is going to just basically get KO'd by the Sucker Punch, and we end up winning that game. Very nice, very nice. I knew we were going to get a game where Furret was going to just like take out the last Pokemon. I knew it was going to happen, and there we go. There we go, Furret for the win. Let's do it. Love to see it. Alright, next game. Alright, looks like we got Araquanid in the front here. Now, basically, what I'm going to try to do here is try to do the same strategy I did kind of in the beginning. Well, at least I thought. Okay, we're just gonna go with the Swift. I thought I was gonna like basically boost up with the Trailblaze, then go for a Swift, but that's fine. Swift doing a decent amount of damage. My problem with Swift doesn't do like that much damage. That's kind of why I go for the Trailblaze, even if the Trailblaze is not exactly, you know, even if the oh shoot, I should have went for a discharge there before they end up switching out, but I end up over farming here, and then they end up switching into an Umbreon. But yeah, I end up buffing the Swift before I use it, just because, yeah, it's just like, I know it doesn't do that much damage. That's the main reason why I do that. They end up getting to a charge move. Let's see if I shield. No, I do not shield. Foul Play coming through. Foul Play taking us to the yellow. Let's see. We do get to another Acrobatics. Let's see if they end up shielding this or not. As you can see already, Acrobatics does a whole bunch of damage, which is very nice. And Emolga is just super spammy, which is also very good. We can potentially take another Foul Play, and we do end up taking another Foul Play, which is very nice, and we still get to keep both of our shields, taking out one of their Pokemon here. Okay, so they're basically got to their charge move here. I could have shielded using a discharge, but at this point we would have been basically mono in terms of shields. They end up switching into a Poliwrath. For whatever reason, I should have went for the Trailblaze. Definitely should have went with the Trailblaze, but unfortunately did not go for the Trailblaze there. Too quick on the trigger, man. Too quick on the trigger. It's too early in the season to be too quick on the trigger, which is very unfortunate. But Mud Slap's doing a whole bunch of damage. We do still have 2 more shields, which is very nice, and we are going to be able to debuff the actual Poliwrath with the Rock Tomb, which is going to be nice. Rock Tomb coming through, not doing well. It would have been non-effective, but they end up shielding anyway, and we do end up debuffing them, which is very nice. We're not going to shield here since we debuffed them. It's a non-stab Icy Wind, and we already debuffed, so that's fine. We're going to try to farm up just a little bit more. Let's see if we can get to, yep, there we go. We end up farming down the rest of the way, and they still have the Araquanid in the back, which is going to be taking super effective damage for the Rock Tombs here. Yep, super effective damage, which is very nice. Unfortunately, I was debuffed with the Icy Wind, so of course, you know, not doing that much damage. Not as much damage as it would anyway. And yeah, they basically end up shielding the last move here. I end up shielding here just because I just don't know all the moves that Araquanid has. Every time I see Araquanid though, every time it's just bubble. So, I mean, I probably shouldn't have shielded, but you never know. But I go for the disrespectful play of not hitting any bubbles on Swift and just getting the KO on the Araquanid there. GG's. There we go, there we go. And then I believe we are going to be on to our last game. It's either second to last game or last game. This should be our last game, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get it. All right, that is a pretty dope costume that this well, that's a pretty dope you know, clothes that the my opponent has on right there. All right, so we got Furret versus the Grumpig. Now I do have to be cautious of the Dynamic Punch, which it does get to very fast with the Psywave quick move that it now has for season 22. Dynamic Punch coming through. We're definitely going to be shielding that. Going for the Trailblaze to boost up our Sucker Punch. Our quick moves, the Sucker Punch should be doing a good amount of damage onto the Grumpig, and they end up switching into the Drapion. I'm just going to try to throw a Swift. Since it is buffed, it should do a decent amount of damage onto the Drapion, especially since it is Shadow. Let's see. Oh, it's actually not Shadow. I'm sorry. I'm so used to seeing Drapion Shadow, and it was not Shadow. We end up switching into the Claydol, of course, doing super effective damage with the Mud Slaps. It's probably going to use, what is it going to use? Crunch. It's going to use Crunch. I don't know why I didn't expect it to use Crunch whatsoever, but it ends up using Crunch here. Throwing another Crunch here. So definitely going to be down on energy right now. Should be down on energy right now. Throwing 2 Crunches. We're going to be throwing the Scorching Sand. Scorching Sand is going to be knocking it out. And then they switch into the Feraligatr. Feraligatr is not going to be liking our Emolga, but at the same time though, both of our Pokemon don't have that much energy to throw. I mean, to be able to take essentially a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon still is going to do a whole bunch of damage. Oh, they end up switching back into the Grumpig. We get to the Discharge here. Now, what I probably should have done is just farmed up just a little bit more, so I'm going to be able to throw onto the Feraligatr, because I believe the Feraligatr is basically has double Hydro Cannon right now. But I do end up getting to the Discharge, but I believe they still have a shield left. Let's see if I'm going to be able to get to another one, but I really doubt it. They're definitely going to be throwing a Hydro Cannon here shortly, which they end up doing right here. I believe they definitely have, yeah, they have 1 Hydro Cannon here for the Emolga, and then I switch into the Furret, and then they have a Hydro Cannon for our Furret here, which is very unfortunate. Bye-bye, Furret. But yeah, that was one game where I just, for whatever reason, wasn't counting how many Shadow Claws the Feraligatr was throwing. So yeah, I just ended up getting smacked by them Hydro Cannons. Feraligatr still viable in Season 22. Of course, basically king of the Great League and Ultra League, which is insane still. But anyway, end up getting Cubone there, 3-star, pretty nice Cubone. And yeah, we end up winning 4 out of the 5 matches, almost getting up to rank 13. But anyway, that was the games. Let me know what you guys think of the team down below. What do you guys think of the new Season 22, whether that be in PvP or just in general with the Pokemon in the wild and everything like that, the new researches and everything like that. Let me know down below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, because it helps the channel grow. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.